Now, like, what challenges have you encountered thus far being a reseller, and kind of like how are you trying to overcome them? Like, it could be with listing or hiring employees. What things have you run into?
Yeah, so I'm really empathetic towards people that struggle with business, struggle with eBay specifically, because in my experience, this is the easiest job I've ever had. The margins are just incredible. It's so easy to just go find items that are $3 that sell for 60 almost every single day.
Hmm.
So I have experience in like drop shipping as well, where the margins are about 9%. So for every $100 in revenue, I get $9. That's you know here on eBay, my margins are between 50 and 60%, which is a lot easier to deal with. So one thing that I think if I lived in a bigger city, I think one thing that I would struggle with is probably overbuying, just because you're able to get so much product that and it doesn't sell extremely fast in some cases. So I could have foreseen that issue. But honestly, when it comes to just buying junk with a good brand on it and selling it on eBay, this is by far the easiest job I've had. I have a lot. I have a close network, so I have a few employees. Most of them are my family members, my brother-in-law, things like that. And then I have a lot of ride or die friends that are just willing to do anything for me. So every time I want to make like a special YouTube video, I have a friend that makes thumbnails and just does a ton of things. I make my own thumbnails, but he's sent me a couple drafts like, hey. So whenever I need anything, I just have people to rely on. But yeah, I mean, kind of unpopular opinion, eBay is the easiest job in the world, man. Like we just need to buckle down and focus on it, and we'll all be thousandaires in a couple days.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, if you've ever, dug trenches for a living, or, roofed houses or fixed fence on a farm, yes, eBay is very nice in the fact that you can literally do it from your sweatpants with your loafers on and make six figures. Though I would not recommend it, but you can. So that's the beauty. eBay's awesome. Yeah, it's been around forever, but still, there's such a great opportunity. This video is sponsored by Zeek Analytics, an amazing tool that can help you go further faster in your reselling journey. And what we got here pulled up is one of their many tools within their platform, and this is the product research section of their app. And what I did is I typed in women's jeans. I just want to get a good overall view of what is going on in the women's jeans niche, as I am a clothing reseller. And when you type that in, this is based on a 30-day average, and you can see here how many have sold when you can sort from lowest to highest, and you can see kind of the price ranges for these items. What I like to do here is get a good bird's eye view of kind of what keywords are found in a lot of these titles that have been selling lately. I'm able to extract some of these keywords and use them in my business, and also identify upcoming trends. I'm able to see, what is kind of coming out of fashion and what's coming into fashion. Another great tool is their title analytics tool, where, like I said, you can go through and find a lot of the keywords that are trending now that you can use in your titles to help you rank better in search. We want to be able to capitalize on the keywords that are being used in high selling items, so we can also gain that search volume as well. You can see in the price analytics section, you could see sell-through rates compared to pricing, so you could get a good idea of how you want to price your items. So if you're wanting to try out Zeek Analytics, check out link down below where you can get a discount upon sign up. Now back to the episode. What are the key factors, do you think, that determine success of a reselling business?
The
And
key
specifically on eBay, I
factor.
guess, since
Okay.
that you sell on. Mm-hmm.
So there's a ton of different things. That's obviously why I started a YouTube channel, to disclose all this information. But honestly, I think people. So I'm personally a numbers guy. I love information. I love numbers. I love all this stuff. I love understanding the algorithm and things like that. But I think too many people focus too much of their time and attention on the algorithm instead of their customers. So I think, oh, if I don't do this, will that irritate the algorithm? When you should just replace algorithm with customer.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't know if eBay's algorithm is going to like how I listed this. And it's like, no, you need to ask yourself, will my customers actually search for this? Will my customers like this shipping policy? Will my customers like this return policy? Will my customers like this item that I priced 400% over market value and then put on sale for 50%? This doesn't work. You just have to think from a human psychology perspective instead of a technical algorithmic perspective. This is what I talk about probably the most on my lives, because people think that they're like shadow banned on eBay, when really it's just your item is $1.89 too expensive and your customers can't see it because they usually just put lowest price plus shipping, and then you're buried on page 19 instead of page 2 or 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
algorithm.
if you want to be successful in reselling, understand human psychology more than algorithmic movement.
Algorithm is customers' habits. The algorithm is taking customers' habits. That's what an algorithm is. It's not a, it's not this god or deity. It's literally just trained on information. So when we say algorithm, that's YouTube algorithm, Twitter algorithm. All of these algorithms are just trained on how human psychology, how we do things. So yeah, you 100% is people. When you can relate algorithm to just your customers and the end buyer, then it all starts to come together. So like piggyback off of that, what is like the importance of an effective product listing for optimization, and how impactful is that for your sales and profitability? So like how are you optimizing your listings so they do end up in buyers' faces?
Yep. So this is something that you've talked about on your channel a lot, and there's a lot of free information across YouTube and Google and eBay. I forgot what the program is called, but every 3 months or 6 months, eBay releases like 2 to 15 videos about how to help people sell online on eBay. And I always put this: if you're selling electronics, this is the title structure you should follow as a foundation. If you're selling clothing, this is a title structure you should follow as a foundation. And so I think the foundation of a listing is the title. You got to make sure that the title is set up piggybacking off of human psychology, the way your customer would type it. So a lot of people ask me, because I sell a lot of electronics, they're like, where do you put the model number? And I typically put that at the end or towards the end, because some people, their remote will break and then they'll look up the exact model number and then they'll type it in. And mine will be in the title, so I'll catch them anyway. But most people just type into eBay Sony DVD player. They don't type in Sony SLV-NX57. They just type in Sony DVD player. And so I start my listings, brand, what the item actually is, and then all the specifics after that. So that's the foundation. And then I'd say the first floor of a listing, you got to have good photos. And then the second floor, still important, item specifics. And then probably, I would say the elevator in that building that is super important are your policies. So you got to get them from the foundation all the way up to the first and second floor via policies of shipping, return policies, and then I think probably one of the most important things on eBay specifically is pricing. It's not the most important, but it's one of them, because when you type in an item, 17 of them pop up. And if you can get one for $13 less, you're probably just going to buy that one.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you handle your pricing strategies so you can remain competitive? Now that you've been selling for a while on eBay, how are you? Are you checking comps, making sure you price middle of the market, or how are you determining your prices?
Yeah, here comes the controversy. This is what I love talking about. So
it's good.
In these quarterly reports that eBay talks about, they talk about what they call a premium customer. So their goal right now, a lot of companies' goal is how can we get as many customers as possible? eBay has now shifted from that to how can we get higher paying customers? We're willing to lose 40 customers that spend $40 a year to get one that will spend over $5,000 with us this year. And so they talk a lot about their premium customers, and those are the people that I advertise to. The biggest premium customer on eBay right now, there's two of them. There are millennial men, such as myself. Millennial men will buy a Travis Matthews shirt for $29, even when other ones are listed for $14, because they just click on the first thing that pops up. And then there's middle-aged women that are in upper to extreme income classes. They just type something in, and the first thing that comes up, they click on. So I actually price things depending on the item. So electronics, I price lower because people are typically just looking for a replacement, and so they want to buy that replacement. But if it's vintage, then I'll price it higher. But when it comes to clothing, I actually price things higher than most people would, because I have so many items that have a 2-week sell through that I'm willing to wait 160 days to sell clothing for $6 more, because I'm waiting for that guy that buys the Tommy Bahama shirt for $29, even though the exact same shirt is there for $13, because he doesn't care. He makes $80,000 a month, and he just wants to go sit on a yacht in his custom Tommy Bahama shirt. So like, people always tell me all the time, a lot of the brands that I sell, Travis Matthew, Tommy Bahama, there's this Western one called Cinch. I've gotten a ton of messages from rodeo all-stars that like, hey, I'm participating in the world tour rodeo here in Las Vegas. This cinch shirt is awesome, and they buy it for $70, even though it's only worth $24. So I kind of price higher on clothing, and then everything else in my store I just list at market, so that way I can have that extremely fast sell through coupled with the longer shelf items. If that made sense. That was a lot of information right there.
For sure. No, that's great. Just briefly, you're offering returns on all your items, or
everything, yeah. Even items that are 4 parts and not working, I still offer returns.